Check. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Was it a pump and dump here for BTC? Let's take a look. And some of these AI coins continue to go. Like this little SKYAI here flying to the upside. There seems to be something going on with these AI coins. And there may be a mini pump inside of whatever Bitcoin does that may not stop here. So we got a couple things we want to talk about. We're going to break it down for you like we do every single day here on the channel. God bless everybody who's jumping on in, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. As we start this day in gratitude, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to hit the mic. Thank you to have a YouTube channel. And just want to say, thank you, dear God, for everything I've been given. Amen. Let's move forward. Let's break down BTC, talk about it. Liquidity, either side. Does look like we want to go a little lower here and eat up the low areas here on the low 77, 76, 8. But there's still some, a glob up there too as well. But it's a mixed bag on a Monday, as you can see. And when you pump on Sunday, it's always sketchy. See this SKYAI? I'm not saying it's going to continue, but man, what a show it's put on. What a show. And there's been a bunch of these little coins that have been absolutely ripping to the upside. Let's start with BTC. Let's talk about it. Last night, I was long. We said, let's go long. We had the pump. It was great. And I always think, okay, I could make thousands and thousands. And I sold. I even said to my trading group, we have $2,000 in a couple hours. It ripped. I took basically my $1,860 off the table. I left a runner that was up 500, but I put the stop loss to break even, and that got hit, so I was fine. And then that was the day. And then I took a little bit of a scalp on the 1 minute in case it pumped, and that one took a little bit of a hit, but it was very small. So I ended up making a good amount of money last night, which I'm very happy about. And we stuck to exactly what I do, which was I traded at 21 when it said you were going to get a move. Now, we didn't get the follow through, but it was a resistance area. I took some profits. We're going to talk about what I'm going to do next and what I see happening. Could this be the beginning of a big dump? Or is anything possible? I believe anything is possible. We may be coming down. You never know. You know what I'm saying? We have to be open-minded at all times that that price could do something that you're not willing to believe. It's hard. When you start trading, it has to be what you think, because you can't I couldn't handle it, to be honest, because I wasn't ready for life to throw everything that it had thrown at me, right? A lot of things still discouraged me. I still got thrown off. I still, you know what I mean? Because I was still finding myself. It wasn't perfect. So when I looked at the charts, I kind of looked at them the same way as my life. And if it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, man, it was devastating for me. Oh, I swear it was going to go long, and, you pile on in, and it just... And then there's the denial phase where you just don't even leave the trade, even if you can see it's going to lose. There's a lot of sick, twisted things that happen to traders on the, I know it's weird. And I don't do that stuff anymore. It's really nice. I use a stop loss. I take profits. I put my stop loss to break even as much as possible. And I have fun with this video game that they've given me, And I like to win. I want to take it. It's the level. I want to take the levels to the next level. So... yeah, so here we go. So the monthly, in my humble opinion, has broken out. However, in the back of my mind, it still could be the shoulder, head, and a right shoulder. It could even come up here to make the right shoulder. The key is we'd like to see it break above this previous support, right? Turn that into make that's going to be resistance. We want to break above that. Use that as support, bounce, just like it had bounced here. We're going to go zoom into these levels and talk about it, but this is kind of what it's all about for me. And that level is going to be about 82,005. So, and this is the monthly. If Bitcoin can close a monthly candle above 82.5, then we're on our way to a bigger move to 93 and then 102. And then there's really just, not much else till we start to kind of talk about all-time highs again. So, in my humble opinion, a close above 82 is kind of like a give to 100K. I feel if we close a monthly candle above 82.5, where this candle opened, and you can even see the exact number, 82.550 even, baby. Oof. And that's up here. See, OH, L, and C. Every candle has an open high, L, and low, and close. the open, the high, the low, and the close, and you can get it every time every time you're on the candle. You don't have to be on it. See how my dotted line? Because we have a Y and an X, a Y axis and an X axis. And so when I'm on like this candle here, you're going to see up there at the top of my screen, the open, the high, the low, and the close. Really nice, right? So you can see, okay, when did this candle right here, when did this candle open? And you can see it's 82,550 even on the dot. So that tells me, okay, we got something brewing here. We got, this tells me, okay, I got you. So that's the one thing that we're looking at. And so we've broken out on the monthly. I like what we're seeing in the same way, both ways, right? And this is literally how you should trade the 1 minute, the 5 minute. Like this is basically support and resistance to a T. And I used to not understand too. My mentor used to show me so many things, and my mind just, and I was there to learn. I wasn't even like, at the one point I was 100% focused, but I guess for me, it was a craft that had to be ingrained into me as I did it. As much as, my mentor showed me and showed me and showed me. But without being around a person that was so relentless, I don't know if I ever would have gotten it. So I almost teach like the relentless nature to go after what we're doing here over and over and over and over again. Like you just have to keep going at it to the point of no return. Trading is something that you almost have to go at. It's like you can get sick of it and you still do it. All right. Bitcoin, 78,750 as we speak. Struggling a little bit on this Monday morning. It's Monday morning too. So it tells you to kind of, I never like to go, like, let's wake up Monday morning and go all in. Never said me. I've traded it. There's been a couple Mondays that have possibly given us some opportunity. You never know. But for the most part, I'm very, very weird. Especially we made money last night. Or if you got to short last night and you took profits this morning. And now we're kind of sitting. And we're going to get to it. We're going to see if there's an actual trade coming our way coming our way. So we'll break it down. And I am a little early today, everyone. I started early for the first time. Never do that, right? Everyone's like, he started early. You're supposed to be here at 10:10 and he started early. I know. Forgive me. But everyone will bag you for being late, but no one will say nothing about being early. Right? So let's take a look. So we've broken out of this falling wedge, which to me is bullish, right? Just a bullish sign. And we talked about it here, and here, and I'm still in a monthly trade because I see no reason to get out of the monthly if we've broken out. One thing I'm wary of is that we could make a right shoulder. It could be a slanted head and shoulder, right? So those are that's kind of where I stand on the monthly. Oh yeah, and then the levels, and if we close back above 82,550, I see a bigger move, likely into the 95s into 100,000. If we can't and we get rejected and we end up closing down here below this high, which is 71,280, I believe it was open. What was it? $71,280. Yeah, because I've looked at it so many times, I remember it. So basically, you close below 71,000. So basically in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we either close above 82.5 or we close below 71. And that's going to be kind of sealed. That to me, that will seal our fate. In my humble opinion on the monthly. And I'll shoot whatever happens, I'll trade it. Right? If we have to short it down to here, then we short it down to here. If we have to long it up here, then we long it. So far, long is telling us we're A-okay. Another thing that's teaching me things are all right here is this hidden bullish divergence. Okay, and then you pull the Fibonacci, and I see hidden bullish divergence, and I see a bounce off the 786 fib. I see us in the 618. The stochastics pointing up, swing down to swing up, swing up to swing up. Hidden bullish div, and we'll show you something else about hidden bullish divergence as we continue here through today. The 2-week chart, and hidden bullish divergence. I'm telling you, as crazy as it looks, and strange as it seems. It was the one thing that I figured out early in my trading. Like after 3 years of being in it, really learning and playing with divergence, I understood it and was able to use it. And I used it on altcoins, Bitcoin, many times. It got me out of some crazy jams. Like, anytime I saw an offset, this is a beautiful uptrend. To me, that even if it's slightly up but more flat, to me, that's like a class B. It's still hidden bullish divergence, because if this can continue, divergence means these lines will divide each other. You see? If this line keeps going and this line keeps going, they're going to cut each other in half at one point. That's a divergence. To me, it's it's like that means they divide. They will be cut in half. There will be a divide. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. Okay? That's a divergence right there on Bitcoin. So that told me we could hug into a long, and you pull a fib too. We got the bounce, So many times it's been able to give me an edge when like and then that's all I see. It's kind of like a horse puts blinders on. He can't really get hurt, but what he doesn't see, he's able to stay on track. Similar to that as a trader, you're just like, you see what you can see. Like this was a clear W. Like so far, I mean, the measured move is, that was it. I mean, that's what was supposed to happen. We were supposed to go up into that. I mean, that's the measured move of the W. And that was supposed to happen, 68% of the time. So the whole point of it all is to follow, I just keep trading what I see. Nothing different. You don't make this stuff up. You just keep trading what you see. Beautiful, beautiful W here. And we talked about this, and I gave the Twitter post about how these are three white soldiers. The next candle should be green. We should continue to the upside. And it's a clean breakout. To me, it's a breakout. If you want to know it's not a breakout, go up here. But then you can't skip touches. And that's why I'm really adamant about, and fine, you could bring it up here, at least something like that. But to me, it's still a breakout there. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's a big deal. I feel like we have to get back above that monthly area. For me, the big deal on the weekly here, because is this, number one, it's the battle we're at right now. We got to get above here. We got to cruise to 87,000 there. This resistance, this line, we got to cruise. It's a pretty good area. But we got to get to this block here. We got to get sucked up into there. It's key. If we get a close in here this week, or somehow this candle starts to kind of move bigger, that's going to be a big deal. All right. Bro. What up to Ken Bozak, man? God bless you, man. Thank you for being here, man. Ken. Nice to see you, man. Good hanging with you, man. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Much respect, brother. Much respect. Good times, man. Good times in Vegas, bro. My crypto peoples, bro. People that are dedicated to crypto, man. We all have our personalities. We all have our differences. We all have our, we come from so many backgrounds. But, man, we're so connected because what brings us together is that constant fight we've been in with. It's a crypto, not a fight, but you know what I mean? I don't want to bring it, but like crypto, it is. It's an internal battle we've been through. Friends and family didn't understand. We've talked about this stuff for years. We've seen things come to fruition that we've thought about for a long time. For me, Bitcoin. I told people Bitcoin was going to go to 100K a long time ago. When it did, I got so many text messages, man, you've been on this thing for 10 years, And we're going up on 10 years in cryptocurrency for Crypto Lifer, man, which is pretty crazy. 2016, I started looking and dabbling with little altcoins and playing on BitTrex, I used to call it, Bittrex. Shout out to anyone if you traded on Bittrex. Anyone trade on Bittrex? Bittrex? It's called BitTrex. All right. Once a lifer, always a lifer. Seize the day, man. Crypto revolution. Amen, man. Yeah. Bro, your logic worked out finally. What does that mean? What is that supposed to mean? Hey, finally. Hey, you finally did it over there. It was the first time ever, but you finally did. So the 5-day chart also staying above the 200 moving average to me is a bullish sign. All right. If we end up breaking back below this yellow line, I'll concede that it's bearish, and I think then I'll have to say that this is going to be a bear flag. Worst case scenario, this is a bit of a bear flag here. And I mean, you could say, is it going to go the length of this whole pole? I mean, it could. That's kind of what a bear flag should do. Send you somewhere down to 43,000. Okay? I mean, that's the most bearish scenario. It's possible. You know, this could end up just wicking back, turn into a nasty red candle. It hasn't closed yet. We have a day and 10 hours. You know, anything's possible. We want to see this 5-day candle close strong above the 200 moving average. And why? Well, I'm just going to show you, you know, every time we've closed above it, we've had a massive pump. Right here, a massive pump. Doesn't mean you can't close above it, come back below it, but, you know, it's pretty strong when you get above it. Really strong, actually. It's kind of crazy how strong it gets. And you're usually high in the stochastics when it happens. You're right here, but look, I mean, this just became a monster move. So anyway, we'll cross it as we keep coming. But you know, it's an indication that a lot of people aren't paying attention to, and that I've been eyeing for a long time. If you're new to the channel, thank you for jumping on in. My name's Sam Price, Crypto Life. I started trading when I was like about 23 years old. You know, just touching buttons, buying a few things here and there. Then I got to do like a trading account with what's called I think it was called something options. It got eventually bought by E-Trade, so I eventually had an E-Trade account. And yeah. Anyway, and then I kept trading, and you know, I started trading gold basically on the New York Stock Exchange, like JNUG and JDST. They were Direxion Dable 3-time ETFs for gold. So if gold went up 10%, you make, you know, 30. If gold went up 1%, you make 3%. And you could short it or long it, but you could trade it bullish either way. It was like that one was a bullish short token. So like it went up when it went down. You see, I don't know if that made, you know, if you understand me. And then the other one was it was interesting. Anyway, so here we are on the 3-day chart. Again, not looking amazing, but not looking the worst. It is a little far away from the 21-day moving average. You got to, you know, take that into account. But to me, it's trying to get into this. It's in a tight channel, just like the daily. Like this is kind of what we're looking at. Now, I haven't really seen these break out from a bottoming move. That's like, to me, it's more of a topping, you know, when you're ripping and you top out. You know, we could be making something like, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, we got to be careful. And how we'll know is, I mean, seriously, you're going to close a red candle next to a green one. And basically, we're going to have to take that pretty serious. Yeah. I found that, you know what it is? After everything I've done in my life and all the different types of things I've done in trading, just not paying attention to the candle bodies must have cost me so much. And now I just, you know, and because, you know, it was when I went to Singapore, I couldn't really stare at the chart so much. I know I had these long flights and layovers all around the world. And so I had to trust I trusted my trading and my signals and the stuff that I always do. And as I got in, I just let it do its thing. What a trip that was, man. The single. And then this the whole time I was there. Remember, I left there on the September 27th. I came home on the 7th. It's crazy. It was, or the 28th to the 7th. Like right there. This is my whole trip to Singapore. Bitcoin just ripped the whole time I was there. It was awesome. I made some great money trading. One of our best calls ever. I sold the top right there when I was getting off the plane. I still can't believe it all. And the right shoulder and the 107,000. I said, you got to short it at the right. I mean, and we continued to dump, man. Wow. Anyway, so yeah. So here we are with Bitcoin on the 3-day. Let's move on into the daily. So, you know, it's not amazing right now. It's not. Let's see, you know, where we're at. I believe the daily holds the keys to basically the rest of the week. You know, it's been a really good time frame. So first of all, I just want to move this away for a second. First thing I want to talk about is this, you know, price action moving up while the RSI is moving this way. That's called hidden bullish divergence. All right, hidden bullish divergence tells you, and this is crazy, right? I don't know if there was a 90% chance, and this is what I use it for. Actually, you know, so whenever I find it, I want to see that, you know, and you go back in time. I made this call, if you guys remember, in the trading group on Thursday at 3 p.m., if I remember kind of the day. I was traveling in Vegas, but it doesn't matter where, and that's what I love about it. 3 hours behind, getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep at best, waking up at 5:30 to go do the stream at the Sin City studio, which I was grateful for. What a blessing. You know, and through all that, being able to see kind of what price action was likely going to do, nail it for the trading group, and just, you know, hit some big wins the whole time we were there, which I found absolutely insane. And, you know, win streaks. I went on a 5 win streak the whole time. I didn't lose once on Maxi, which is, I find, insane. But, you know, it makes sense when you think about it, because that's what happens when you put your mind to a system and you just trade the same system over and over again. I said to my wife, I said, how do you do, you know, you do great when you're traveling, not paying attention. It says, how does a person do that? And it's like, well, you stick to the same exact system all the time. You know what I mean? It gets ingrained in you. You just do it. As crazy as it sounds, right? You just kind of do it. So I'd have put it in, where the heck are you? Oh, some hotness in here. Anyway, I don't want to waste time like staring at the screen looking for something. But there's the call on Thursday. Thursday was what? It was so clean, I just need to look at it. I'm like, where are you, baby? Where are you, sweetie? Where are you? So 5/2, today is Monday, yeah. We got that extra push at the end after the pump. We got that W. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah. There she is. So this is, you know what I mean? So, and we're going to, you know, so I pulled the Fibonacci, and I, you know, and when I bring this up, I want to bring it up because I really want to stop the tape here and just be like, listen. Because this, every time I've seen this, it has such a high hit rate. And it's weird. It's not like a signal. It's a collection. I call it, and again, like I said, I call it the Trinity, or, you know what I mean? I don't want to be, you know, or, you know what I mean? But it's 3 things that come together that make an excellent high probability play. And so the first thing is, I'll see price action on a bigger time frame, make a big pump, come down with a dump, right? You'll get the first, you know, basically the tweezer bottom here at the 618 Fibonacci. You know, from pump to there, it's 618. And I've seen this, you know, it might wick down to the 786 right there like that one did, you see? And that's where you can get like probably the best discount, but this is discount right now, right? And so, and then this swings down, and then the stochastics will be curving, you know, you'd like them below or curving near the dotted line. You get these 3 things together with the 618 fib, and this is all kind of chilling. And to me, man, and then above all the moving averages with the 200 moving averages dangling, that's even kind of that, like that on top of that, right? And then you even have resistance, which became support right there. You see what I'm saying? Resistance. So like, what that tells me is the resistance and support traders will trade this. The fib traders will trade this. You know, some people will do divergence. Some people do low stochastic. A bunch of people are going to do a bunch of different things. I like to see the whole picture, and then I check it off the list, right? And this is what I teach you when, you know, in class. How to make a checklist, how to look for these things. And then once you see a high probability trade, you just say, well, what's the point? Well, you know. And so what it tells me is that there's a 90% chance you're going to break these highs before you break this low. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to dump in a month or two. It just means right now, if you trade this, you should be able to sell up here above this high. Okay? And if you look, you know, if you look what happened to Bitcoin, I mean, you could see it did exactly what it said it was going to do. The signal was given Thursday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, which was 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, but down in Vegas, right? Or up in Vegas, wherever, in Vegas, in Vegas. So now what? People are kind of saying, what's happening here? Like, Bitcoin's been kind of up and down, but now it's back. It's getting a bit of a pump, actually. It's been pumping since we spoke. There was actually a bit of a possible move here. To me, you know, nothing has really changed about the divergence. And, you know, I guess there was a nice sell-off and sell back, but I just feel like it's got to send it. I still feel like there's nothing stopping it from really finishing this bigger move to this bigger bar of liquidity up there. I could be wrong, but to me, it's looking, there is some divergence here, though. I got to say, there is some bear div. But I kind of feel like this was the bear div, and then it dumped. And now it's on a new track of RSI that can kind of start to get higher again. And the next divergence is going to come where it's supposed to come, when it gets shaded above the dotted line, usually. Stochastics just crossing, and that's usually where a big push of momentum could come to, the stochastics RSI. So, and then that MACD is showing some signs of lack of bullish momentum, bearish momentum, with a pretty flat histogram there in the red, right? And you could still see there's some momentum coming. We are getting pretty high, though. We flipped the equator. It's been we've been on a nice pump. Bitcoin's been basically on a beautiful uptrend. Another thing, though, that you got to really take seriously is the trend, right? Now, did we break the trend similar here? Let's talk. You had a low high, then you had a low. Lower highs, and then you had a higher low compared to there, and you kind of then you had a higher high, and you're like, oh, that's a nice trend break. But you came down, made a lower high, and then clearly, right, began a low, basically a break to the downside. How many, you made one higher high, and then you weren't able to make a higher low. Like, you really had to make a higher low here. Had you done that, could have been the beginning of something, but you made in the right shoulder. And that, to me, that's why a head and shoulder plays out, because it's telling you the trend has changed. It's saying you had a shoulder, head, right shoulder, bang. And that's why, you know what I mean? That's why it's, once you can read patterns, this told us, and there was there was an M pattern here. I remember if you deep dived, I remember if you went in there, there was even another head and shoulder on like a smaller time frame. It's crazy. Now here we have the head and shoulder, and people thought that was the same one, and they shorted it very hard. And you can see there's probably a lot of stops in this area, and this is kind of what happened, right? The shorts kept shorting. So every time the shorts shorted, they got, bang, and it was, and it began because we began an uptrend, right? So I read it as there's the, and so my mentor taught me trend, and it took me a long time to figure it out. But you had the low here, the higher high, higher low, higher high. So once with this higher high, once we broke here, all right, this high broke this high. Then the whole idea was, as long as this low holds, you're okay. Now, you could test it, and we double bottomed here, and, it was a clear double bottom to me, right? And a double bottom means the trend is held, right? These shapes basically are telling you what the trend is. So, either you can read the trend or read the shape. And then, as weird as this was, this was an inverted head and shoulder to me, and this was a cup and handle, right? And we were able to play this. I don't know if you remember, I even gave the long right now on the 4-hour time frame. That would still be, there's a short of me saying this is where I bought a bunch of Bitcoin here, because to me it looks like the bottom, and that trade is still in the money, right? It was just a tweezer bottom on the 4-hour time frame at the end of the day, in simplicity, right? But anyway, so then you broke this high, made a higher low, higher high, higher low, and you're kind of attempted to make a higher high here. So to me, it shows a changing of the guard. Now, what would have to end this trend, right, is if you were to close daily candles below this level here. The problem with trend analysis, you have to be kind of patient. I live in patience now, and so 4 days of Bitcoin makes sense to me. Before it would take so long for me to see it. I'd be, come on. I kind of want to jump on in here. Hold on, let me take a look. Because it was, for me, I was like, you know what? Maybe we should just long this thing back again on the 4-hour time frame. And that was my initial idea here. And it's actually starting to play out. So let me see. We'll get back to the top down analysis. Forgive me. But price action's getting kind of crazy right now. And my idea was to just long this, because the 4-hour bounced off the 21. And I said, that's my signal. I said, we're on the 21 above the 200, Sam. I said, so who cares that, who cares? That's the only thing I should pay attention to is what I do. It is Monday, though. False move Monday. Take a beating as it just, makes a right shoulder. But I have to be honest, I've seen this many times. And my mentor also taught me, if it ever goes back in the pattern, you trade it just like it never left. So if you were going to trade it here last night and made the money, then you got to trade it here and it's the same trade. And if it's above the 21, they say, it's a weird pattern. But I've seen this before, man, and I was actually, I was going to long it. I just started doing my thing, getting the show ready. Let's take a look here. So, 83,788 would be an interesting place, right? 78, 189. And who's out here on the chat? Let me say hi to everybody. Thank you for everyone. Safe trip home back from Vegas. Appreciate all the love. Can you look at FARTCOIN? I know you probably don't like it, but I feel like it's going to move. No, why would I? No, that's fine. FARTCOIN's also been. Yeah. No, man. No worries, bro. All positive energy here, bro. We love everything, man. CRCL stock on the 1 day, please. Okay, yeah, circle. Calls about to retire my vote on USDC issuer stock. I wish I could have invested in Tether as a company early. Interesting. I like what you're saying. So, wow, we're getting a bit of a pump here. Makes me want to see the smaller time frames too as well. Yeah, 1 hour's bouncing right off this level. The 4 hour to me is strong. Look at the 1 hour wants to pump. I'm going to make a trade here, and I'm willing to take a hit too. So we'll see. 83,078 here. I'll risk half of what I made last night. About 898, yeah, for 32. This looks like it's going to rip. I'm going to trade the 4 hour off the 21. I should have, and I believe I could have gotten in way earlier too as well. Way earlier. Stop below the wick of the red candle, you see. Front running, this will close long anyway and rip. We'll see. I kind of bought in a little late. Can't be the 1 hour. That's like, yeah. Could make a right shoulder too. We'll see. But I've seen this game before. Let me take a look at the 1 minute. Yeah, the 1 minute is doing the thing. That's the Sammy special right there. Got to name it something interesting. The Tony Clifton. The Tony Clifton. The Sammy Clifton. We'll see. I'll be careful on the Monday getting too crazy on the smaller time frames, but I like just letting the 4 hour and just sitting on that 4 hour for the next, 10 hours, 8 hours and seeing what happens. I lose 800 or we make more, we'll see. Little risky actually for me on a Monday, to be honest. Well, we'll find out. Right now we got the model cooking. We should get a pump up to 80,250 if things are going to go our way, right? I'm going to take a shot of turmeric, see if it can kind of lower the inflammation over here. And we got a shot of ginger, man. The ginger is going to get to you. But I like taking, shots of raw ginger, bro. In glass bottles, too. Make sure it's in that glass. Look. In that glass, bro. Let's go. Let's get the pump. Show us who you are. Let's get the pump. Let's go. That was nice. Come on. Reach for the stars, baby. Reach for the stars. I know you can get there. We're trying to get up here. Nice little wick to start the candle. Yeah, you want to dump a little bit so you can pump a little bit. Come on, baby. Let's get a nice wick now. Eat the wick. Pause. Don't say, don't you dare. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, bearish divvy there a little bit. Swing up, swing down. It's going to be that harsh. False move Monday on me. Must I protect? Shield up. Can't take it anymore here on the 1 minute time frame. Come on, baby. Turn that into a green candle. Show us how you do it. Dance, baby, dance. Let's go after them shots. Everybody's short right now. Everybody is short. They're all saying it's a fake rally. They're all short. All of retail is short. This is a tiny little signal on the 1 minute that we've been backtesting for years. We are in the minority. So it would tell me that we should be. But you never know. Only time will tell here on the Crypto Lifer Show. And I'm not perfect and I could take a walloping. But you know what? The most I've lost has shown me the more I've won. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that make any sense? Like, it's almost like a barrier for entry. Now, let's talk about it. Two guys both have a portfolio, 80, 90K. Let's say they save 50K, 60K. They trade it up to 80K. Next thing you know, they put it in some of the right coins and the market goes up. And let's just say both of them get to $800,000. And both of them are excited. They're telling off a couple friends and family. They're showing off their portfolio. They're like, dude, I'm a millionaire, basically. They're rounding up and telling people they're a millionaire because they're immature. And not like I ever did that. And so at 800,000, right? And so, yeah, they're living the dream of unrealized gains that never were, right? You know, not like I've ever done that. Me? No. You know, so these guys, I don't know these two guys, you know. So they say there's two guys doing this, right? And, oh, man, let me knew my collar was out, man. You know what I mean? Dude, we're getting the pump, man. Let's get this thing going, baby. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Let it pump behind the scenes while we talk about the story. So these two guys, right? They both get to 800 grand. And the market dumps on them both. They both don't take profits. And they both get down to, like, let's say 80,000. Not like that ever happened to me. That's exactly what happened to me. And who keeps saying that? Who keeps telling the truth? Is it you or is it me? Stop doing that. Sam, it was you. You did it to yourself. Oh, yeah, it's both of us. So, anyway, one guy is going after a life-changing event of progress and believing he can become a billionaire, right? And so, like, maybe 100 million to him he's even like, that's the beginning stage. Like, $1 million is nothing, like, right? So he gets basically detached from money and more attached to the dream and to the energy. And he gets hurt by the beatdown. And he's in his head, but he keeps telling himself that his mind is the treasure. And if he keeps his mind going and he keeps his opportunities up, that he can create more opportunity. And yeah, he may not have done the right thing the first time, but he'll do it the next time he's in position. And he'll learn from this. And he'll find more discipline. And he'll begin to work on himself. Like, the fact that he didn't take profits was a fact that he didn't have discipline. He had a lack of discipline. And so he needs to find more discipline. He needs to find more, you know what I mean? And that he has to learn from these mistakes. So boom, the second guy gets depressed, gets in his head, you know, drinks a little more, hangs out with people that, you know, oh yeah, almost coulda, woulda, shoulda, people that are unemployed, you know, surrounds himself, goes to bars, and kind of like, and then gives up on trading. Now, they were both in the same position. And the other guy, you know, maybe 10 years later, who do you think 10 years later ends up making it? All right, so you can lose, man. And I always say the winners are the people that lose the most, man. They can handle it. They can handle losing more than everyone else, right? They could take a beating. Like, what if I were, you know, who knows what's going to happen with this trade? We got to see. We got to see, right? So far, so good. We're, you know, I'm the king of 3%, and we're already up 6%. I'm just saying, you know. We'll see, though. There's no guarantees. It's one step at a time. Let's get back to the top 10 analysis. But it would be nice if we got a nice little pumparooski off of this move here. Little pumperoni. You know, they used to have pupperoni. You know what I mean? You could give it to the dog. Probably bad for you. All that stuff is... oh, man. Pupperoni. Yeah. Sorry. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, nope. No. Anyway, hold on. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. If you want to be where we are, you want to hang out where we hang out, you want to see what we're doing in the mornings and at night. I did an update this morning to kind of talk about what I saw in the markets. Video update in the morning and at night when I'm not traveling the world, which is very rare. You know, I only travel like, I don't know, 15 days out of the year or less, something like that. Really, it seems like a lot, but it's really not. Maybe 3 weeks out of the year. Maybe 20 days. But yeah, subscribe, and even then, I'm nailing it. We actually did amazing last week while I was traveling. I hit that call on Thursday, which was just beautiful. And the idea is you just get in on the daily, put a stop below, and let that thing pump. Shout out to Greg Novak, man. You made me feel good when you're like, man, when Sam says this, I run to the computer. I'm blind, man. I just hit the button, man. I know he's gonna hit so much. His like, you're the best, man. That made me feel good. Hit the subscribe button. You can go quarterly, annual, or basic. Just jump on in, man, to the Discord. I'm here every single day, no days off. All right, and we're here to kind of serve you and show you the way every single day. All right. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Pass me the rock. Pass me the rock. Boom, from the side. With the 3Z. With the 3Z, baby. With the 3Z. Send it, baby. Send it. Send it. We can do this together. Send it. Send it. Send it. And are we just going to scalp today? We'll see. I mean, it's high risk, right? But I like the 4 hour. I do. And I wouldn't be surprised if the 4 hour can respond here. And it all began here. See, when you cross the 200 moving average, this is just like we're talking about on the 5-day chart. I've learned that these microcosms of space and time inside of the charts. The 1 minute is the 5-day. The 5-day is the weekly. It's all connected here, folks. And so there could be this amazing opportunity here. Again, remember, this was at 5. And I kept telling you guys that 5 is just, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. Another guy saying you should be taking as such. Well, I had to take a shot at 5. 5 twice. Every time I did 5, I had to buy more Bitcoin. And, when Bitcoin gets from here, anywhere after here, into here, I get sad. I really do. And it's not sad. I get this kind of like, it's kind of, when I can't explain it, nostalgic a bit. But it's kind of like when the summer ends. If you lived in the Northeast, then it's starting to get cold. And that last nice day where you're like, after this, it's probably just going to be freezing. Right? And why am I mentioning that? Well, it's kind of like there's this somberness. Like, yeah, life is going on. It's okay. The winter's coming. There's still opportunity. It's going to be fun. But, man, that weather's so beautiful, and it's going to start getting cold again, right? I get that feeling for Bitcoin. When we get up into here, to me, Bitcoin gets overpriced. Like, if we end up somewhere in the 80s and the 90s, that's not when I buy tons of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is bought in right here in the shaded region. And we had a long time to buy. We really did. And maybe we get lucky again to buy down here. Maybe we do go to 48, 50,000. I don't know. But to me, it's almost like you had your chance at 60,000 to take a shot and to DCA. And a lot of people waited, I think, a little too long. And I believe Bitcoin never gives people what they think they're going to get. It really doesn't. It doesn't give them the highs they think they're going to hit for sure. It doesn't give them the lows they think they're going to hit for sure. And what a freaking move here for Bitcoin to the upside, folks. That is what we call a pump. And that's what we call the move here to the upside for BTC. And to me, that is just a squeeze. That's a short squeeze. That looks unsustainable. It is on the 4 hour time frame, though. We're getting what a move. What a move, folks. We're about to hit my target exactly. I mean, this is insane. Welcome to the Sam Price Crypto Lifer Show, where we show you how to make $584 in 2 seconds. To me, that's unsustainable. I'm going to take my gains there. That's crazy. That is crazy. Shout out to anyone that got in and out of that trade. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's probably going to continue to send if that is nuts. That is nuts. And that's why I trade the 21 above the 200. And you could do this every day, no matter what. Bitcoin could go all the way to 80K now. It could do whatever it wants. The key for me is to take profits every day doing the same thing. And if you can take profits every day doing the same thing, but that was amazing. Oh, there we go. I know. And look, calm, cool, and collected. I'm not screaming and yelling, but I mean, come on now. Who just showed you exactly how to do it, baby? Come on now. Like, who does it better, baby? Put a 333 if you just made gains with the Crypto Lifer. Put a 444 if you counter traded them and got wrecked, but you loved it anyway, because we're all here to have fun, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? This is for entertainment. and educational purposes only. Wow. That's some ginger, baby. I put a 333 if you made gains trading right now with the lifer. Banging on them to the upside. Wow, man. And this thing looks like it's going to send. And remember, we still got the monthly trade open. There's still some gains here back above 80,000 for BTC. And look, when you see that there's big time frame movement, you got to whittle your way into the small time frames to see what's going on. And look, above the 200 moving average, you want to use the 200 to your advantage here. A bit of a double bottom there. You see that? They're going to send this puppy. Look at, they are sending this thing to the target. And I take profits about 80%, right? I took profits somewhere in here. But look at that thing send now. I mean, the 4-hour does look like to me like it wants to continue the move that it was originally on to begin with. Wow, that thing is going. To me, it looked a little unsustainable on a Monday. I felt like it would be smart to sell, but we'll see. I mean, maybe I'm going to look back on this thing and it probably was going to be a huge move. It usually is. But that's why I have my other monthly trade open, man. What a pump. And there it is. I mean, how do you figure this stuff out? I mean, that's the measured move. I'm telling you, man, this stuff is insane. It happens so beautifully. This is why people love this channel, because this happens a lot. They don't just come here and see this once in a while. This is a lot. The channel that delivers the goods, almost every single time. The channel that delivers the goods. Every single, they call him the Cal Ripken of crypto trading. This is insane. The everyday hit and never quitter, Sam Peasy. This thing is gone, man. Put a trailing stop on it and let that thing go. I mean, to me, that's starting to get unsustainable, though. I believe there will be another way to get in. But call this thing a massive short squeeze to the upside. And it's trickery. It's just, it's how they do it. The 4-hour did look good to me, though. So, wow, look at the daily getting back to magic. Fulfilling the whole candle right back to the upside again. And I'm telling you, man, it's magnetic to that 200 moving average. It wants that 200 moving average. Like we might hit here and wick back down again. Almost feels like we have to go higher. Bookmap suggests that the glob is higher. If you're going to go anywhere, it says 81,600 is coming for Bitcoin. It tells us there's more move in this move. So now what do we do? Well, what I do here is I got to reset the mind, right? We look at our 1-hour time frame. That's going to turn into a massive move there. And again, this comes back to the idea that you just trade whatever you saw before, right? Nothing has changed. Look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour actually looks amazing. The scary thing is it almost tells you could just get into this candle, just buy this candle. I mean, this thing is gone. It's at 80,444 now. Wow. That is just ape. That's an ape. It aped out. It's aping out. This is crazy. Wow. That's a nice pump. Shout out to anyone. And see, the shorts thought they had it, right? Oh, just short Bitcoin, right? It's that simple. It's not that simple. I believe there's a supply shock coming here for Bitcoin that people aren't paying attention to. And I think there's going to be a rude awakening. Shout out to anyone that jumped in. If you're still in the long, let me know. If you're still making gains, let me know. If you took some gains, let me know. And this is how I plan on getting back in here. If it gives me a chance to scalp this puppy yet again, right? Beautiful pump for Bitcoin during the session, our favorite session. And again, I don't always trade Mondays, but if you see what you see, you take what you take. Right there, we saw the model, the 21 above the 200, sitting inside of a beautiful bull flag. I mean, it's a have to moment. Almost wanted to go extra hard, but Monday had me somewhat hesitant there. I believe we can go higher, somewhere into the 82s. for Bitcoin. What's stopping it? Nothing, baby, especially on a Monday. So last night they pump it, in the middle of the night they dump it, and then in the morning they decided to rev it up again. All right. Now we just need to kind of connect back to the 21-day moving average here and get ourselves situated for another big move. So this is what I do, and I could be wrong completely, but this is kind of my strategy, and just to attempt to keep taking. We have been taking money hand over fist, folks. Since I went to Vegas, it's been just we just been nailing it, because my strategy is set up for this, for finding the trend and trading the trend. All right, we would have flipped it upside down, and if we had the downtrend done it the same way, I'd much rather trade bullish, because it's funner, I think, when people are pumping instead of the few that know how to short and the market's dumping in your face. Yeah, so there we go. We kind of leave this trade on ice here. You see? What if it just pumps in my face? Hey, maybe it does. You know, you don't know for sure, but this is beautiful. Shout out to the beautiful people here. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? Shout out to the 1,320 people on the live. Thank you for jumping on in with the Crypto Lifer. Okay? And the squeeze was on. We showed you exactly what was going to happen before it happened here on the channel. Not to brag, but we're just being honest, right? And previous resistance became support. We made a flag above that with the 21 touching on the 200 with low stochastics. That's how I trade. All right, I took profits into the pump here. It pumped a little higher. You could have said he sold early, but now you could say it might end up going lower than when I sold. We need to touch back to the 21-day moving average. However we do that, you can't just keep pumping away from the 21. It is also a false move Monday. I just want to turn it into a day trade, a leverage day trade. Pay the trader, pay the trader. I made already almost $2,000 last night. We already paid the trader, and we just made another about $500 again. And we made it pretty fast. It was in about 10 minutes. So $500 in 10 minutes, I'll take it any day of the week, right? I don't want to be greedy and continue to grind. Okay, so there we go. So I like what we're seeing here now. Let's take a look at the bigger market, and then we got to finish the top down. My Chinese coin is up a point%. I'm in this coin at 38. I want to see what it does. It's called Binance Life, I believe. What happened there? Binance Life, it's up 16% of the week. Zcash is up and we called that Zcash move to 406. I showed you why I was likely going to move just based on technical analysis, and it did that. The SKYAI just continues to rip. Pretty amazing. I remember looking at this coin back in the day too. Humanity HUSDT, right? Even that Siren, I don't know, man. But even Dash. All right, CanCC has really never given up this $14, $15 area, which tells me it's very strong. All right, even World Liberty Finance, USD. Oh yeah, that's a USD coin. I stay away from that all. I'm not anyone that's in or out of it. I just didn't get into it, so I kind of just like watch it from afar. Midnight, you'd think would do something better. We'll see what happens there, but I'm a huge fan of ADA. I have a lot of Cardano. I really do. From a long time ago, too. I like ASTER. I believe, DCing into ASTER, and that's me. You do whatever makes you happy. I believe DCing into ASTER because it's a utility, right? It's like the decentralized Binance, in my humble opinion. And my mind, everything gets ready for a reason. Like, there will be another alt season. There always has been. There always will be. I know there will be. It won't be the same. It'll be concentrated. And what you want to look for is, basically, here's the idea. This is what I do. You do whatever makes you happy. But to me, it's a simple idea. I have a chunk of change or whatever. I divide it. I like to do threes, man. Right? Into risk, low risk, and high risk. Like high risk, low risk, and just risk, right? It's all risk. And my idea is, okay, utility. Like whatever has utility to me, low risk, okay? And like maybe it's maybe a 3x, or maybe it's a 4x, maybe, not a big, what I mean? But I'm not trying to save the world here. And that should be like a nice chunk of a base, so like that tells me ASTER, Hyperliquid, things that have shown to, Hyperliquid hasn't really, if you got into Hyperliquid around $20 when we, even earlier, but if you bought it late from the $6 run or the $5 run that we watched, you're still up, you're still it held its positional throughout this quote unquote bear market. And even if there's a little more downside, I think it can handle it. So to me, anyway, my thing is utility, then, coins that are based off that utility, right? If it interacts with this coin, if it creates some type of liquidity bridge, if you have to use it to exchange for something, something like of that nature, you want to see, and then, maybe if people want to get memed out and do some crazy stuff. But to me, it's like, I like to have it like, divided, man, and again, that's just like how I look at it in my, and so, yeah, I believe if I go that route, I should be good. And then I'm looking at DeSci, which is decentralized science. You know what I mean? I want to see something. I want to see some DeSci out here. I want to see some coins that are like maybe bringing in medical or. So here it is. I mean, this is kind of what we're looking for here right now. It is the 21 right now. It kind of tells me it could be the time to get in as we speak. A little high risk. If I get in right now, it's very high risk. If I wait for it to consolidate a little bit, it's a lot more low risk, but I also lose this is a great price. We're technically, that's a good, you're pretty right on with the 21. You don't have to touch it. I mean, that's pretty dang close. Right there, I risk just a little more of what I just made, and I could even bring it down and go, yeah, I mean, that's nice. 361 for 2. It looks like we might just flatten these shorts at a second here to the upside. You could feel the tension brewing, low stochastics holding sideways price action. I mean, this is what we live for here, folks, as crypto lifers. Let's see. I feel like I'm watching golf. Here he comes. Up to hole 9. McIlroy's been doing this all week. This would be his third time here at the fat. Only 7 yards away for his first title. I mean, that's looking nice. The whole thing, the whole setup is looking nice. Again, though, you could lose it all chasing waterfalls, right? I go 385, I'm still up, like, measly, but I'm still up. I feel like that's just, like, gonna do numbers. This is where, like, you gotta breathe easy, you gotta be patient, and you gotta kind of really feel. This is where, like, I don't want to say, it shouldn't say feeling, but I do. There's a sense here, an instinctive sense here when I kind of breathe in the price action a little bit. And I get into it, and I'm like watching this and I'm sniffing out probability somehow through years of my subconscious mind doing this. It's weird. That's really what's happening. And I want to live in my subconscious, not in my conscious. And it will tell me. That's why sometimes it's very hard for a pro trader or someone that does it to really like, if you're not live with me, it could be difficult for me to convey exactly how I would flip this without you seeing me in real time, right? A little bit of bearish div here as this swings up, but this swings up drastically harder than that too. And remember, it's false move Monday. It was a big move up. They had a lot of people probably late longs now. This system that I've developed shows me what we can and cannot get away with here. If we get consolidation, we'll be okay. If it starts to dump, we got to know that it's they're just chasing. They're getting people to chase. Let's see here. The 21 is usually a catalyst. If we can't bounce right here, this is interesting. This is going to be it right here. Let's see. And you always want to right click here and go into labels and count down to bar close. And you want to know when these bars are, this is 10, 30 seconds. See, we got 29. Now you can see it's kind of an M pattern. It's a lower high. You can almost say, is that a descending triangle, right? You know what I'm saying? That looks descending to me. Well, let's see. Let's give it some space and time here. There's your 21. Could we bounce inverted and make some type of other pattern? To me, it's kind of already... And we were going to do what I was looking for here for the extension. I feel like we'd have done... Now I feel like we might... we'll see. Let's see here. This is going to be... This is it here in my mind, because you got to bounce. I feel like it's going to kind of drop. What I feel doesn't matter, though. And this is how you avoid chasing. You really got to play it out. You got to sit through it. You got to be a part of it. You know, and this is what I didn't know about trading. I thought trading was like this, like, you know, if you're going to day trade. You know, it's one thing to swing trade on the 4 hour and just let it sit. And I find that actually really soothing. I've been doing that a lot on the weekends. You know, this weekend, just trading the bigger time frame. Letting it see if it could do its thing. Like, this is almost like if this can turn and start to bounce, this is a very interesting place. Let's see how this turns out here. And the way I trade, you got to be very careful. I can get stopped out in 2 seconds. I'm going 500 for 2,000. Now look, it's only 150 for 2,000, right? It's a very low risk to reward ratio now. And that's what I'm starting to do, is perfect these types of buys where the area is just very, you know, the risk is low, but the reward is high. I'm going to attempt to take it. Very close to the bone, though, you see? False move Monday. Don't try this at home. No. Above that. Below the 21, too, which is like, Wanted to see follow through to the upside there. Kind of front ran the head of the inverted. Didn't get what I was looking for. Not just yet. Maybe I still do. But nah, it looks sketchy. We'll see. We'll see. Turn, flip, and get the pump to the top of the channel at the very least. I get stopped out very fast here, so this is a very high risk, you know what I mean? For me personally, like, you know, when it comes to the tolerance that I use. No, come on. Yeah, it looks kind of like a slanted. Probably should have looked at the 5-minute time frame. We might be a little too far from the 21, right? Yeah, we are. Yeah, see? So if I make it through this one, I'll be lucky, man. You know? Now, what I really need is something like this. So now the 5 day is going to have to kind of give you some type of move here, right? It saved my tuchus here. All right, get a little bounce. Stay off of going, you know, kind of somehow close a nice little candle here as a tweezer bottom and give me a push. I could bail. Oh, 92 now, see? It was like 45 a second ago, right? Wow, weird, right? Maybe I think I'm bugging out a little bit here. It'd be crazy if I end up winning this one. The risk was basically 180 for like $2,000, right? So it's like, you know, we're going very low risk, and we already took a trade for about 500. So it's very and last night for 1,800. So look at this, man. This is flip bullish now. You know, pretty fast. We'll see though. We'll see. No. Keep it calm. Keep it calm. But this would be nice, you know, we kind of make some type of beautiful consolidation. Oh, well, that was crazy. That was crazy. You saw that? They hunted it. They hunted it so fast. 194, they snatched me? That's crazy, bro. That was a hunt. That was a crazy candle. Nuts. Hey, you know what? We'll see what happens. I was playing with fire anyway. Very high risk. Crazy. Crazy move. That was bananas. Whoa. Hey, that's Mondays, man. That's Mondays. You know what I mean? That was crazy. Breakdown. Now I'm standing here. Can you see the breakdown? It's all right. All right. You know, I don't, you're funny. Wow, you're charged like a minute after mine. Here it goes to, that's crazy. Well, yeah, maybe there's like a slight delay. 80,000 holding now. Let's just see. What I only want to see today is to back away and let this daily candle close above resistance. You know, 78,006. You know, we just got to close above here. Hold this as a daily, and then we'll see what tonight brings. You know, you tweeze are top tonight, then you got to pay attention. You get a nice continuation and see if this 4 hour can close a bullish engulfing, right, in the next 48 minutes. You know, at 12 o'clock, it's 11:11. So to me, those are the big deal. Like, you know, we get those two things. I think everything else can fall into place. Technically, it's a bullish retest. It broke out, a bullish retest at the top of the channel. Like, nothing really too crazy about that. Actually, somewhat bullish to me. Same here on the 1 hour time frame. Now, if it gives it all back, that's one thing, right? So now you kind of almost have to say, okay, well, what are we, you know, how are we interacting here with the 21? Same here with the 15-minute time frame. I can almost say, hey, are we going to do something like this? I'm just brainstorming here right now because we're just getting started. But we're away from the 21. We know that's, you know, should be pretty cool. Something like this, and then we could still get a move to the upside here. Yeah. It does look like some of the fun is over for the morning. We may be kind of starting to get our pullbacks. I think I was a little too aggressive there. But here we go. You know, it is what it is. You know, I went at it is a little too tough. Hey, you never know, though. Look at this now. You never know, man. Look at this. They're starting to make this thing playing with my heartstrings here. Sniped me. Extra snipey. After such a nice pump, too. I had to go back on a Monday. On a Monday. Okay. Look at this thing. It's not giving up just yet. It's not giving up just yet. You know, just when I want to say, oh, it's going to do, you know, you don't, it's, you just, you know, when you're on that 21 on the 4 hour too, it's almost saying, hey man, just trade the 4 hour, let it be, and, you know, trust in the 4 hour and just let it do its thing. Right? It's like, just like last night, I did the same thing there and it ended up playing out, right? It's tough, man. There, you know, if we continue to, would have made a little more sense. The pullback had me like, well, you know. It's almost like I need this confirmation of these smaller time frames. It's just kind of the way I do it, right? Specifically, I want to see the 5 minute touch the 21. Like, I believe if I respect this next play, I believe this could, you know, and I'm not over trading. If you see me go back in here on the 5, I'm going to redeem myself by doing exactly what I should be doing. So let's see here. We got another possible move here on the 5 minute time frame. And I'd like to see this thing do its thing. With this possible resistance, we get a pump here to the upside and bang, bang, bang. We could see this thing move. All right. We can see this thing move. So yeah, I'm looking for some beautiful consolidation here for Bitcoin. That could be the next play right there to the upside. All right. Not saying I'm going to do it right now. It's going to take some patience and some timing. But that's a 5-to-1 too right there. Right? Can we even get a 3-to-1? Yeah, even below the 200 moving average. That's what I'm looking for. 82,449. And like, I mean, they're starting to build liquidity up to 82,000. You can see it right there. It's telling me we're going higher. Shout out to the 1,349 people here jumping on in. Thank you for being here. Hit the likes. I basically appreciate that so much. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. We should have 1,000 likes on this channel. Thank you so much for everyone jumping on in. We appreciate you. We love you and we care about you. We want to see you win. So we're here every single day without a day off. Always going over the charts, showing us. If you want to trade where we trade, you can. It's awesome. We've got links to the trading areas. All right. Weeks, BTCC and MEXC. All right. And they're always doing something cool for us too as well. All right. BTCC is always hooking it up. And also right now is doing something cool where you can get a rollie. All right. If you trade with us, 3 people at the end of May will be picked to get a rollie. And this is just always get your 10% bonus on first time deposits. Just some awesome stuff that you get right off the bat, right? If you jump on in. On top of that, though, we are doing some rollies. Win a rollie, man. Ending in 27 days. Jump on in today. It's going to be top P&Ls, top trading volume. And the top 3 will be looked at to get a rollie. So jump on in. It'll be awesome. Extending that too for people, just so you know, it was extended to give more people a shot to jump on in. All right. Okay, here we go. Can this get all the way up to 82.5? That's what we're looking for Bitcoin. Can we still hold that 3-to-1 risk reward ratio? We're just holding it very short, 79,462. And do we get chewed up? Maybe, you know, we have some firepower. Don't want to go too soft. Too hard though. Yeah, 2,000. I'll come in. Yeah, maybe on a Monday I don't have to get exactly 2,000. That's how I gauge it. I get a good risk. You know, if I think the trade's really hot, I want to make basically 2,000 or 3,000 for every 1,000 Bitcoin makes. You see? So if Bitcoin goes up 1,000, I want to make $3,000. If it goes up 3,000, I want to make 9,000. You know what I mean? If I think it's decent, I just want to make what Bitcoin goes up. 1,000, 1,000. If it's like whatever's, and I still think it's good, but I want to be cautious, I want to make 500 for every 1,000 Bitcoin goes up. You see? And that way I could just kind of figure out the risk in that manner. All right? So you just kind of see the profit, see where you want to get. Like, oh, if I want to get to 82, I should make $2,000 because Bitcoin's that would be about 3,000 almost. Yeah, a little under, like 2,500. I should make 25. But if I want to be a little less, I'll make 1,260. And that just basically makes me figure out the risk pretty simply. You know, does that make any sense? Yeah. And you should find that out by, you know, again, that's for me at 33x leverage, but you're going to figure out wherever you want to be, right? It just depends. Okay. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't tell people what to do with their money. I'm not going to go over your portfolio. I'm just an educator of technical analysis. I'm going to teach you about the 21-day moving average, the 200, the stochastics RSI. We're going to educate you how to look at supportive resistance, Fibonacci's, and how to manage your emotions when trading. Okay. Those things all combine to kind of show you how to make it happen and put it all together. Okay. So yeah. Bitcoin holding 80,000, and there's still the chance that we could get back inside another scalp here to the upside. Still holding on to that idea. We're not over, you know, because once this 21 crosses and we start to consolidate, we could have ourselves another trade. That's how this all that's what I've learned. I've watched this stuff play into so many in succession from time frame to time frame. And it is giving me so much insight throughout my life, and I love doing it. All right. Let's recognize some people here in the chat. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. And they got live chat. Yeah, make sure at the right. Yeah. You will see Big Red Candle. Thank you. Pump, BB Pump. Yeah. Managing emotions will be the hardest. Yes, yes, yes. Early BTC prize was to be random. Hey, Sam, nice meeting you online. I'm looking to connect with your team regarding a partnership inquiry for Tier 1 next. Wow. So many people are, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Not to be rude, it's just kind of what happened. Hey, Sam, do you have an estimate of how often you could repeat your system on the 1 minute in a row and win before loss on average? Like if you keep following the flag after flag. It depends. You got to know what's happening on the bigger time frames. Like, look, we just got a nasty dump. They just went and, you know what I mean? That's why you don't go chasing waterfalls, right? And here you go, man. This could just end it. You never know. Let's see here what's going to happen now. That's ugly. You know, I've seen very crazy moves where you bounce right off the 200. That would be crazy. Possible too. You know, the 200 is like kind of, it's this magnet. It's this magnet to long. It's this magnet to get in and out. Once you utilize the power of it, it'll blow your mind. It really will. I mean, you could backtest this strategy. You could you know what you just asked is you could sit there tomorrow and you could go to the 1 minute and you could look at the Dow Jones, Tesla, and you could look at any chart and you can watch how many times you could have traded the 1 minute on the pump. And you realize that my strategy has nothing to do with me. I just figured something out that's true. It's almost like you figured something out in nature. It's like sailing. You know, someone put a thing up and the wind hit it and he moved and he's like, oh, he's a genius. And maybe, yes, but maybe, you know, he also just used what nature gave him. Like the wind moved him. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know if that's the best analogy, but my point is, I just revealed something. Yeah, like you know, a sailor reveals what's already there. The wind already was there. You just had to capture it. The strategies that I show you already there. You just got to capture them. Like you know, you'll see that they work out on all sorts of time frames. But it's False Move Monday. Just be very careful today, right? It's gonna be a roller coaster ride. Let's take a look at the bigger time frames and zoom out here too as well. Let's look at the bigger time frames and zoom out. At the end of the day, I feel like we're still inside this pattern. Like they won't let it, you know, it's still there. You could say, I feel like it broke out. It's still inside. I won't give up on this idea yet. It still shows me that there's a breakout. They're just fighting through the liquidity now. They're just battling to see how many people they can take in or out. The beauty of it is the 4 hours of resetting on the Stokes, and you're not getting too much of a dump. Like you're getting, you know, you're getting really strong reaction off the 21-day moving average. This candle wants to close pretty strong at 12 o'clock. We're going to see. That's going to be a big deal. But that's definitely a tweezer bottom in it. It tells me that this thing could just continue, you know, and it's the same idea like we were talking about before. The 21-day moving average. You know, you kind of put your stop loss below the point of control. And this says you can get to 85,000. And I know it's so like, it seems like a pipe dream, right? But that, to me, that's just kind of what is supposed to happen. We'll see, though. I can see how a lot of people are shook. There's a lot of bear market cheerleaders out here. And again, anything could happen. Anything could happen. One thing there, thank you for saying that. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see what's going on with the S&P. So to me, the S&P is, I mean, how could you pump like that without getting a bit of a pullback, right? Sorry, that was just, how could you pump this crazily without pulling back, right? To me, it's a little extended, no? And so, like, I put the Twisted Sister up, right? I'm like, okay, fine, nice pump. All-time highs and all that fun stuff. But, like, now you're just too far away from the 21 on the daily. Like, if you just stick to the script with me on every time frame, because what happens is people get into these assets and they start listening to what they are, right? Oh, this is this new Botox company and they're blowing, you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm just using that as an example. I would never use Botox. It has the word toxin in it. Just use castor oil and, you know, don't stress yourself out so much and, you know, get good sun, even though they say sun will shrivel you up. You want to get sun at the right times. Circadian rhythm, get good sleep, and you'll look great until you're ready, you know, old and gray, you know, until you're old and not gray, hopefully. Anyway. And you got to be honest with yourself. Like, look at the RSI. You know, I don't care what the asset is, but I mean, that's a bit of a move down. This is a move up. And I'm not, it could turn around and pump out of nowhere. It really could, because the way they gotta print the money. Even though the repo market has been smaller, there's a lot of people going to front run what Kevin Morse is going to do, and I think they're going to place money in the market, right? So 79,550, though, nice little crash for Bitcoin. But does want to hold. Look, it's holding the 200 moving average here now. That's a tweezer bottom call now. You'd be front running the fact that this thing is going to moon. Very gutsy long if I long this right now. But it's technically, you got the 21. Stochastic's getting low. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's $93 for $3,000. Is that like, are you serious? Yeah, I mean. Oh, no, because I have it at the wrong spot. Yeah. Should be 78,978, right? Yeah. Still a nice $6,000 for 600 for $3,000, right? So if I use the rest of what I made for, you basically, we're looking for a $2,000 move. Yeah, I get $1,500. That's okay on the risk on a Monday. I want to see this thing, now it has time to consolidate as far as I'm concerned, Pretty good move, technically, That 200 is so amazing. It's such an amazing. I'm just so amazed at how this thing plays out time and time again. All right, and honestly, there's a lot of people getting back into cryptocurrency, man. They get back from, we met a lot of people. I think the Sailor got a lot of people going. He did, man, and people said the turnout. You know what it is. A lot of people realize they don't have to go the whole time. You can go for a day or two. And the first day is industry day. Not many people show up at the conference. And the second day is the big day. And a lot of people were there the second day. It was huge. And then the last day, people flew out because they have, it's been a moving, people are moving and shaking. They got a lot going on. I mean, technically that's the buy right there. The 21 touching the 200. I mean, the A pin right at the bottom was epic, right? So far, could become an epic buy. Amazing if that actually ends up holding, right? Right there, it did. It could really do it again. Yeah. Anchored V1 for the all-time high, sitting near the top of the Feb CFE gap at 83.6. With the top of our potential bear flag ascending channel. The setup started our more back down on January 14. Yahoo. Thank you, Sammy Cuphead. Shout out to my man. How you doing, brother? Thank you for jumping on in. 1 minute. Oil is pumping. Really? Well, you know what? Oil and Bitcoin should be kind of moving together. They really shouldn't be, or it's kind of independent of each other now at this point. All right? Like, they shouldn't be hugging each other so hard. I mean, anything can happen to the S&P the way it's looking recently, to be honest. Like, 21 right there, that's pretty strong. I look at the daily time frame. Daily just needs to reconnect to the 21. Looks like it could even pump a little. This might turn in green, and it might pump up here, then come back. It looks pretty bullish. The small time frames may not, honestly, I'm leaning a little more bullish than bearish on that. Right? So, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And let's see, we'll ask the agents for the extra news, This is just what they do. I can't believe it. It was the first time I really paid attention, no offense, because I don't drive that much. And I had to get my gas tank ready for a drive today, and I filled up the tank, and it was $102. To fill up an Escalade 22-gallon tank, right? Because it was very, very low. There was like 30 miles left, etc. Yeah. So, wow. I think it was the most expensive it ever was to fill the tank. Since I got the car is about 2 years old. I've had it for 2 years. Right? So let's take a look here what they're saying, what's coming in. As of May 4th, the U.S. and Iran remain in a tense standoff following ongoing conflict that escalated earlier this year. A fragile ceasefire has been in place for roughly 3 weeks, but negotiations have stalled. Iran submitted a new 14-point peace proposal last week aimed at ending the war within 30 days. It reportedly includes lifting the U.S. blockade in the Strait of Hormuz and other concessions. President Trump said he's reviewing it, but he's repeatedly called it insufficient, stating Iran has not yet paid a big enough price for its actions and that he's not satisfied. He signaled a possible rejection and warned of renewed U.S. strikes if Iran misbehaves. He announced Project Freedom. Today, May 4th, the U.S. Navy will begin escorting and guiding stranded commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz to reopen the critical waterway. Trump framed it as humanitarian and freedom of navigation mission. Iran has issued strong warnings, calling any unauthorized U.S. entry a red line, threatening to attack on U.S. forces. Reports of a cargo ship attacked near the strait by small boats. Iran claimed its forces fired missiles at the U.S. warship after it ignored a warning. The U.S. Central Command and Pentagon have denied any hits or damage. Tensions are spiking with fears of renewed fighting. Sounds like nothing burger, to be honest, man. Trump has also ramped up economic pressure on Iran, tightening the noose while keeping military options open. Oil prices have surged due to the disruption of the Strait of Hormuz. Let's take a look at what's happening to U.S. oil. But this is, tensions are around, right? Tensions abound. And again, don't feel like you have to get into a trade all the time. Very important. Remember, I'm up $2,000 from last night. I then made another $550. I then risked that and only lost $200, right? So I'm still up about $1,900 or more, 18 and then 23. And then I'm still up $2,100 out of just a few short hours, 10 hours or something of trading. I mean, this is bullish to me. Look at this. We're above the 200 moving average yet again. Remember, we call this inverted head and shoulder to the 200. And since then, I haven't really paid attention. But yeah, oil looks like it's going to continue to surge. I mean, this says it wants to go to 130 now, which is pretty crazy. Bring this trend line, bring this down, and you can see, we're getting very tight again, and we're above that 200. Every time I've seen that. And I could see Bitcoin and oil both getting a bit of a pump together. They shouldn't have to be battling each other, back and forth. I think they're kind of released of each other for a while, but you never know. But so far, I like what I'm seeing there for Bitcoin and oil. That's just, that's a beautiful thing over here. Hey? You know what I mean? This tells me that it might be time to make an oil trade yet again here. At least risk something for something over here. It's been a while. That looks interesting. It looks like it's going to pump hard. Already started right now, right? I could be wrong, but that looks good to me. Entry here, stop loss below the point of control. It's a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Maybe take some profits there when we first hit 118, see where it goes, leave a runner up to 130. But I got to be honest, that looks like it could be a massive pump. A massive pump for. I'm going to put an alert here on that top line. I'm also going to put an alert on a vertical line here. Oil looks like it could be the trade. And you could trade oil on MEXC. You could trade oil on BTCC. You could trade it on any of these exchanges. Okay. Even here on weeks, I believe. You could trade it anywhere. I believe, does anyone know the ticker for oil here on weeks? I haven't traded oil on weeks yet. But I believe I believe they have it. Had a great profitable week last week, chilling today. Just filled half a tank of diesel, $142, right? 100%, yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah, the gas is crazy right now. It's bananas. It's bananas. Gonna cost more to drive to Miami than it is to fly, man. No, we'll see. We will see. 1134 with Bitcoin. Can you get this bounce here? Now they kind of got us in limbo for the last, 15 minutes, but that's okay. Expect that on a Monday. It's better than insane price action. The 21's crossing now, which is, that gets more and more bullish. That would be an epic buy right there. 376. You'd like it to get a little chunkier. 1G for 4,000 on the lows. Man. Send it, baby. Send it. It's above my risk tolerance, but that look, oh man, that would be nice. See if we get the bounce. See if we can kind of create more consolidation. This thing could easily just go boom and just completely collapse and stop everybody out. It's a Monday. You know. Never feel like you have to be, when you ever like this, like I gotta be in a trade done. That's usually when you should take a walk. You know, it's okay. What if it pumps and you miss out? It's okay. It's okay. That's fine. The key is, can you do something consistently? You know, like this is interesting. Look at this. This gets more sideways for a while too. I mean, this is the 21 above the 200. This says yes. This says yes. Oil. So something's gonna brew here. All right, and you never know. It could go either way. They could dump it. You say, oh, it's a shoulder, had a right shoulder, and you should have known. I don't know. It's looking more bullish than bearish to me based on the moving averages. You know. I got alerts on that. You might see me trading oil today or tomorrow, maybe even tonight. Yeah, $5 here in Florida, $5.20, I think it was. $5.19 for 93 octane. Special thanks, yeah, exactly, for the winning ag gas. You're funny. Oil was on weeks, XTI, yeah, XTI. There it is, 105. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. See a nice win there. Yeah, we showed that win, baby. We showed that win, but yes. See, even the 5-minute for oil is looking more bullish, right? And the dollar too, man, is you know, not looking amazing. So oil is strong. Funny, it kind of did a lot similar to Bitcoin, right? So it's kind of like they're playing with you. But look, I mean, that's the 1 hour. It's the 200. It's the 21 above the 200. Could be wrong, but that just looks like there could be a beautiful pump to the upside there. Go to 127. I mean, that's an aggressive move, but I mean, and that would make things would go up even more. That would add to inflation. It would put so much pressure on the Fed to cut the rates to give us a breather, right? But then the thing is, oil could flip back around. And then we could have free money with good, but that would just turn into a huge pump for risk off and risk on assets, right? Just want to be smaller, maybe 300 for 1,000. I mean, it's going to be a huge move for oil, though. It's like only 1,000. Sometimes I get greedy like that, but I don't trade oil a lot too. I'd like to see the spread on it, you know, how much the fees would be. It's usually different when I'm trading oil than Bitcoin. And the pump already happened. Might be able to make, you know, but this thing might just, when that 21, that 200, man, it's telling me that something's coming. Last time we had pumps, it blasted. So, yeah, for my oil should pump a little bit. Again, they're doing this stuff again? No. And let's take a look at the DXY, because that, to me, okay, let's see here. I mean, what I see is just I see a bear flag on the daily. That's just going to continue. I see more downside. Like, yeah, fine. It looks like it could chop around, but for the most part, to me, the dollar looks like in time, right? By November of 2026, I do see it way lower than it is right now. Which tells me that, you know, real estate should go up, stocks should go up over time. Like, if the dollar can't hold, you know, it's already made a double top here. You know, that's resistance. You know, I just think it's only a matter of time it continues to roll over. I mean, that's just what I see. I haven't looked at gold in a while. Just, I want to see what gold is doing, kind of balancing off. So, you know, the precious metal has lost its glare. It was too much of a big move, I guess, for the most part. And I mean, you're kind of in this bigger channel now. Tells me that gold's probably going to come back down to that 200 moving average to find its medium area. Think about it, man. I think that was their last hurrah. I'm not saying it's not going to continue to go up like smoke, you know, but Bitcoin is digital gold, man. I know people don't believe me, but over time, not everybody, but like, I don't see this moving forward with the way the system is moving. We're going into tokenization. They could tokenize gold for sure. Right? They could tokenize gold for sure, but I just feel like, you need a digital form of money to move with the way we're moving. And I think, it's clear that Bitcoin has that, is the one right now. No other coin is respected by the world, institutionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say whatever you want. Transactional, all this other stuff, transactions per second, but it's the coin right now that anyone is willing to back with massive amounts and, lay it all out and still be a big player on the stock market. Bitcoin is shown to show, its resilience and its strength. So there's nothing like it right now, presently, and I know people want to see it replaced, and there's the XRP people, and there's this and that. And I still hold some XRP, and I've been around that for a long, long time. All right, I'm not saying it's not there's different tech for different reasons, but right now Bitcoin just has the number one spot, just like gold took for a long time. And you may go, you're a maxi, you've been in Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe I am. And so there you go. I'm not gonna, I love BTC. I believe Bitcoin is the one, right? The one we have right now, the big Bitcoin, the $79,000 Bitcoin, right? And there will be coins that kind of come into play and help us do more transactional, and I believe Bitcoin will be the backing coin behind it all. And I believe Lightning will speed up. You could still, with Lightning, Bitcoin actually is pretty fast. People don't talk about that, right? It doesn't get mentioned enough. This 21 crossing to me is just so beautiful. And it's really not about a price again. It's about structure. And the structure is looking nice to me right now. 79,003. I know it's a Monday, but man. If I hit this and I lose it, I'm only down like $200 in the day, which isn't bad, considering. And comparatively, I'm still up $1,900 in the last 40 hours or 30 hours or 24 hours. So is it worth it is the question. I like the 21 crossing, and it tells me that this thing could just do, but again, I could also get sniped down on a wick easily on a Monday. But my instinct tells me, that's where you buy. Low stochastic, 21 crossing the 200, there's the bounce. That should go bing, at least back to the top, and then it will kind of hang out and start to consolidate. And it might be the low entry that you can't get again. If we consolidate, it should be the best price possible in the pattern. Right? Exactly. Bouncing off the VWAP, BTC, off and grab some grub, bro. Good luck. God bless you, man. Shout out to Little Time Mining. All right. Put me in those earphones while you go grab that. You know what I mean? Don't want to miss out. Make the vast majority of my income from long-term Bitcoin spot holds. And it works. Shout out to Rave Song Records holding it down. He's a hodler. He's telling you the hodling pays off over time. And he's stress-free, too. It's paid off for him. He's been doing what he does. And he wants to let you know that he likes that cryptocurrency has provided extra opportunity in his life. It doesn't have to be the only way out. It's just it's just an added, he adds it to the portfolio. He makes it a part of what he's already doing. Got some interesting coins here on my desk that people probably may have never seen. This coin is very interesting, right? If this one can come up here. I believe that's the Eisenhower, right? $50, silver dollar. That's a silver dollar. With it has, it's a real coin, man. They had these back. This is 1976. It says 1776 to 1976. Silver dollar, right? And then you have the $50 with JFK on it, right? This one's cool, man. Everyone's, we don't care. We want to get into the trade. Show me JFK. Come on, baby. It's not going to do it. It's not big enough to, get it out. Come on. That's too close. All right, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm wasting time. But anyway, it's a beautiful coin. Just trust me on that. Man, I like when the 21 crosses and the Stokes are going. It already said it's a good buy there. Every time we... Oh, man. I'm conflicted by a crazy Monday. You know, I'm like the day of the week adds to me a pro and a con. Like I go through the list every time I get into a trade. What's the good reason? What's the bad reason? You know, good reason. We had a nice pump already, right? The 1 minute held pretty nicely. It's consolidating. It bounced pretty close or near the 200 moving average. The 5 minute is above the 200 and hanging out with the 21 now. These are good signs, right? We're starting to show signs of a consolidation that could really pay off. The 4 hour is back in the pattern, could do the same thing that we already saw. What's the cons? The cons, it's a Monday, which is a false move, and I always have to be really careful of liquidity on a Monday, and especially after yesterday, they probably liquidated a lot of people on a Sunday, which tells me that the order book should be a little lighter today and a little sketchier. Okay, so that's another, so that adds a con to the day, because I'm like, You see, I got sniped there. That was a crazy way, earlier, so... I'm on the defense a little more than normal based off that. Be a bot, Sammy. Trust your skills. Shout out to RC Moore. God bless you, bro. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, you got to be a bot. Press the button and move on. Less thinking, more clicking. You know what I mean? Yeah. Max it. Max it out. I can't say it, but you know what I mean. Yeah. ACU pump it again. Can it explode once again? ACU yet again? And anyway, someone wants me to look at Circle. Let's take a look here at the fan funding. Bro, shout out to Ken Bozak. God bless you. What do you think about Tether doing an IOP? I think it's crazy. I think that's good. Yeah, can you look at FARTCOIN? You probably don't like it, but feel like it's going to move soon. We'll take a look at FARTCOIN. We'll take a look at Circle. On the 1 day, please. Deep on SWE, GOAT, Blessings, Aster. All right, let's take. So first thing I want to look at is FATCOIN, dude, over here. As I attempt to get back in, I got to watch this closely too, without forgetting. Let me put this up on the top screen. And if you want to fund it, get into BitFunded, baby. I partnered with BitFunded. You can log in, jump on in, and learn. Okay. Simple, all right? Take the challenge, become a BitFunded trader, and get rewarded today, all right? And there's many different plans that can help you out, all right? The starter, which is the best seller for $10,000, not too bad at all right? Expert, if you want to go all the way to $100,000, or the Apex at $150,000, all right? And it depends, all right? You do whatever you want to do over here, right? You can start a challenge for as little as $79. All right, and people are finding, are getting funded every single day and getting their money, man. All right, so check it out. No issues, always pay it out. Things are done right over here at BitFunded. So check them out. Okay, so the thing I want to talk about here is Circle, right? Or no, FARTCOIN. You gave me FARTCOIN. And I want to say I'm not a hater. Anything looks interesting. This actually look at it. I mean, it's in a bit of what I call... an ascending triangle. And it has made these, look, 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump, right? Like, we're likely to the top of the bigger channel. Somewhere there, it looks like it could go to. Maybe even a little higher. Maybe it rips all the way to where I show you there. But, I mean, looks more bullish than bearish, right? You look at the 4 hour time frame yet again. It's above the 200, touching the 21. It's consolidating crazily, though. I don't know what's my cup of tea. I might stay away from it. I don't think I'm going to be trading it, but it does look like it could do some numbers. If it ends up at 29 cents, in just a few weeks from now, I wouldn't be surprised, right? I think it does depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin dumps, this ain't happening, but if Bitcoin pumps, and it's going to move the whole market. And FARTCOIN is a known coin with a lot of people paying attention. It probably will get some volume and pump. And the fact that it's above this curving 200 with the 21 in nice consolidation tells me, an entry here. Stop somewhere below here, or you just notice that if that's your area, you're out on the trade. But yeah, I could see this consolidate and continue to pump. There's a nice gap with the VRVP, right? You're holding above this point of control. These are good signs. To kind of update you on Bitcoin, it's looking funky here, but that could turn into a wick. But as you can see, I'm waiting it out right now. I'm waiting it out. Let's take a look at Circle. All right. CRCL. And see what's happening to Circle on the New York Stock Exchange, right? All right. So the last time I put it out here, I wanted to see it bounce back to the top of the channel. You can see a bit of a double bottom, but that's a cup and a handle. You see the cup and handle there going? Right? And it did. Look, it's just funny. I didn't even see, but there it did gab up shoulder, you know, and it made this kind of double bottom pump into the channel. To me, it looks bullish, like it's going to hang out sideways here. Sometime in June, I see some type of catalyst here for Circle. And it looks like it could pump pretty nicely and end its rally. I don't know. Wow, August? I mean, really? I feel like it would take a little longer somewhere, maybe, you know, but it does say you might be getting a pump here into the summer. So there you have it. This is what, you know, I could be wrong. Maybe it goes sideways and it dumps down for a double bottom. But right now, it's looking more bullish than bearish on the bigger time frame. The daily, it has this nice pump to the upside. It's going sideways. Doesn't say it's going to blast anytime soon, but it looks, yeah, somewhere in June, it gets very tight. It's going to make a decision with multiple higher lows, and I see it headed to that next resistance in 158. We'll see where that comes for the bounce, and then boom. I mean, it can gap pretty fast right back up to this next bigger area, 215. Looks like 115 to 215 won't be that hard. Okay. But, you know, again, I could be wrong. You never know, but that's just kind of what the TA is telling me. Remember Deep Book Protocol? Right? Deep Book, right? On SWE. You know, everything was looking good until the whole market took that October 10th. And after that, I think a lot of people lost faith. I even did on coins that I believed in, that I had researched, that I knew could be hot. You know, the one thing that we got to say is, are you starting to at least round the bottom here? Which tells me there could be some opportunity around as long as it starts to round. But now I need to see it. Like, I need to see higher lows on the right side. And yes, maybe this is time. Let's kind of deep dive here. But, and you know, this may not, I don't, you know, Bitcoin's struggling right now too. I'm not, I'm happy that I'm just kind of chilling. It was a fun morning of trading so far. So, and someone wants Aster, we'll take a look at Aster. Really, if you consider deep, it's got to get back above like 3 cents and 7/10 of a cent, or I'm not really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Not amazing. Let's take a look at the 12 and the 22. Yeah, they're poking above that 200 moving average. They're showing some signs of life. The 1 hour is doing the same. But man, I just don't have the conviction in these these smaller coins anymore. Right? I mean, people got to know what it is. We need more. We don't have enough retail to kind of research all these different coins and get enough volume everywhere. You know, the thing I would look at is, okay, let me take a look at the 4 hour and say, okay, you know, if Deep Book can break out above that resistance there, which is going to be 3.3, you know, just by coincidence, but it is 3.3. Maybe channel, you know, the 21 there above the 200. Yeah, maybe there's a nice pump. And back up to here. But I would just be looking for something like that. I wouldn't be looking for anything too crazy after, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, would you start stacking deep again right now on the lows? And maybe I'm missing my conviction in these altcoins. But for me, it's more like, you know, I just be stacking Bitcoin right now while I'm paying attention. Everything else is kind of secondary. So we keep watching to see if we can hold. And honestly, these bounces off to 21 are really interesting. Really, really interesting. Just I gotta say, to say the least, I like this, right? So, telling me that I got more conviction now in that long. I mean, the way it's really starting to fight above with the 21 curving in. Either I'm drinking the Kool-Aid or it looks nice, you know. I'm gonna trade like a bot and just go at it. And I know that I'm in heavy risk for sure, right? So we'll see. Very close to the bone there on that trade. Don't do what I'm doing, please, if you don't know how to trade, all right? Heavy risk, you know. Proper risk management. Be ready to take the L. Be knowing what you're up against when you do it. Almost looks to me like we're in a tighter channel here. Like this. This could be a big breakout right now. And start to send Bitcoin back up. The 4-hour is in our favor. That's another reason what's giving me conviction here on the trade. I like the way the moving average is moving. It's looking very healthy. It's the fastest $100 I've ever seen, but we'll see how this goes. Like, I don't want to, you know, count my Satoshis before they get minted. You know, whatever, you know, before they get mined. And I know anything can happen. And on a false move Monday, I could likely lose this trade too. So I'm okay. I'll lose the trade. Remember, I'm still up $1,900 in 30 hours. 24 even less. You know what I mean? So I know what I'm doing. I'm taking a breather. It's okay. And I know anything, it may not go my way here. All right. Just enough to get you right at the end. Just when you think the stream is done, you're like, oh, he's back in again. He's back in again. Let me get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. We have almost 500 likes. That's amazing. I'm so blessed. Shout out, dear Lord. God, thank you for the 466 likes. Those people are absolutely amazing. Some of the nicest people in the world hit that like button. I find that absolutely awesome. So thank you so much. What a great stream. We really focused on the trades, right? You know, as much as I'd love to talk about, you know, motivational speaking and stuff, we really focused on the charts today. There was nothing else. The charts got me hooked. They've been very interesting. There's been a lot to pay attention to. And it's been one of those days that's taken almost, you know, everything we got to figure out what they're doing. We really have to hone in on our years of subconscious data to find out, and we still may lose. So we'll see. I mean, this trade, we're going to see how this plays out too, and update you guys in the trading group as it continues, because it looks like we may not be able to end it on time here. So let's take a look at ASTER for USDT and see what's happening for ASTER. You can't really look at it on the weekly. There's just not enough information. It's very, very early, right? If anything, it's just in a downtrend. Looks like, you know. But at the same time, hey, it's you're not buying a premium. You're buying, you know, that's definitely discount, right? Made this low, came back up, made a higher low. I guess your best bet is say, okay, it's inside of this flat channel. And, you know, you want to see it kind of break out. Like, I guess it's an Adam and Eve in a way. It has a bit of a double bottom off this key level. It's kind of in the zone, right? But rounded bottom, could it break on out? You know, once you get some utility and things start to change, this thing could be like an Adam and Eve double bottom, Bart Simpson type of feel. I mean, look at the price. It's just like piano board, right? It's a piano keyboard right there. There's just straight sideways price action for a long, long time. For a long, long time. So... yeah, I mean, I'm IDCA'd into it. I have a bag. I think that's worth it. You know what I mean? Again, I'm just, you know, I'm open-minded to tell you that, and you do whatever makes you happy, right? I'm not saying, you know, that's neither here nor there, right? People do whatever they find. Damn, I don't love the wick down like that. I'd like that to kind of, you know, we got 1 minute and 38 seconds for that to close. It'd be nice if it kind of choked up a little more on the wick there. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense, you know, choke up on the bat, right? I mean, yeah, I'm talking about baseball. So get that thing moving up. Get that thing moving up, right? So we'll see. $74 on that trade so far. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right. Remember, every trade is just a day in your compilation of trades. Keep it moving. Keep the losses small. And, you know, attack as much as you can. And, you know, scared money don't make no money. Right? If you're afraid to do something, then you're never likely going to do it. You got to break through the fear. I think that's why demo trading is amazing. You know, you demo trade your way to greatness. You can do it. You can figure it out. And, you know, you'll basically be able to pick up, you know, if you see my strategy, you could try it 100 times demo trading and then see kind of where that leaves you. You know, but you got to have some compilation of what's happening and make it make sense. All right. Look, we're back up another, you know, here we go. Let's see what this can do. This could become a big one. Another big kahuna, you know. It's looking nice. I mean, someone told me trade like a bot, Sammy. I appreciate someone who said that, kind of put me in the right mindset and said, yeah, just do what you see. You know, when you think too much, you don't hit the button enough. And then you don't have the 10 trades that you can say, well, I won this, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. But when you hit the button enough, you can start to see what you're doing, right? And you can't do that unless you demo trade. So hit the button enough demo trading, that will give you the strength. Look at Big Red that we just got up there now. And so now we kind of enticed enough of the shorts to create a nice wall of liquidity above us there, 81,200, which suggests that's where we're going. So, Bookmap is saying, hey, we're going to go up. Man, I'm at 82.8. We'll see. I just want to see this go sideways and possibly not stop hunting me out here and get the move. And I'm not saying I'm 100%. If I ever was, I'd be a liar. So there's a chance I'll lose. We've been on a hot streak recently, though, and things have been going our way. So I do get used to it. And then I'm like, hey, why are you going to make me lose over here? Yeah, but we'll see, man. I like this 21. I like the 200. That's my thought. That's my thing. And I waited patiently for the right time and the right place. And I believe this is a perfect entry for a long right now. But again, that's just, what my system says. There's no guarantees of any of this. And only time will tell. So there you have it, folks. That's what I'm seeing. Stay calm, cool, and collected. Don't overtrade. And we do this every single day. So don't worry, it's just another day. Shout out to everyone. Thanks for the stream. Somebody said thank you for the beautiful, beautiful viewership. I mean, we had a beautiful audience today, one of the biggest in a long time. A lot of people out here today paying attention to Bitcoin. So I appreciate that. And we're back in the home studio with I think there's something to that, I guess. Our first big stream back, right, on a regular weekday. So feel so comfortable here, man. I got to be honest. I love it. And the studio I built too back home, the summer studio, it's a really good studio too as well. Like I feel comfortable there. So shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Legendary God King. And I'm going to tell my wife right now, I'm going to give her your phone number. She's going to send that your way, man. God bless you, bro. Thank you. Shout out to everyone here. Stack Big Change, my whole crew, everyone, RC Moore, Lakochi Coker, Sean Plays, and everyone that makes this an amazing stream. We appreciate you guys. We love you. And we thank you so much for jumping on in and being a part of this awesome stream. So I couldn't do it without each and every one of you. I thank you guys so much. And I can't wait to see everyone tomorrow on the live stream yet again. We had some fun. We had some action. We called a nice pump to the upside. We did. Might have been just the trade of trades. We'll see if we can do it again here. And if I can leave you guys in awe in an hour, like, man, he did it again. An hour from there, what he said on the live played out. So we'll see. We'll see. Gratitude that my children are healthy. Gratitude that I'm healthy. Jamie had a safe flight. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you so much. Gratitude that the internet worked. Gratitude that the computer worked. Gratitude. Every time you go live, you take a risk, man. You take a risk that the internet, everything's going to go in your favor, right? It's just to do it every single day is amazing. And we traveled around the world. The internet's robust enough now, that it really can keep this stream going all around the world. So I want to say thank you to everybody, including my team and everyone that makes this show happen. So yeah, may God bless you all. Thank you so much. I'm going to go, get ready for Miami. I can't wait to see anyone that's showing up to the party in Miami. And yeah, let's get it in, everyone. I love you all. Thank you so much. The secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great, baby. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.